welcome, welcome YouTube, welcome everyone. Today we're gonna dive in a couple seconds here, waiting for some people to come into the chat. And the title of the video today, guys, the title of the live video is The True Meaning of Communication. The True Meaning of Communication. So I'm gonna wait a little bit here for some people to come in. And we're gonna dive right into this idea of the true meaning of communication. I'm gonna give you guys in this video, I'm gonna give you 3 keys to better communicate. And when you come into the chat, guys, let us know where you're coming from. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what you're going through and what your day was like, but I am here not to just talk at you. I'm here to inspire, and I'm here to connect. So we want to make a connection, and we're going to talk about 3 keys to better communicate. I'm going to share with you 3 keys to better communicate, and I'm going to give you some tips as well. All right. So one of the first things that we're going to talk about is the Latin. We're going to go to one of the mother languages, or one of the parent languages of where communication came from. So one of the places that I'm going to go to is the Latin word for communication, which is communis, C-O-M-M-U-I-N-S. And also from communis comes communicare, right? The verb form in Latin is communicare, and it means to share or to impart. And so to make something common or share with others. So this is one of the parent languages of communication, comes from Latin, right? So communicare. Communication according to Latin thinking or Latin language, is connecting and sharing. Hello, welcome, Evan Stone. How you doing today? Welcome, welcome. And I just wanted to let everyone know that's watching and hasn't actually come into the chat yet, guys, that I don't know where you're coming from or what kind of day you've had, but I'm here not to just talk, but to make a connection. So if anything resonates with you, if something hits home, do me a favor and let me know and put it in the chat. Hello, Kenneth. How are you today? Put it in the chat, right? Because I'm here with you, and I'm here to make a connection and not to just talk at you guys, okay? So I want to make a connection, and I want to make that clear and so that we can understand that, guys. So I prefaced the video to say that in this video, guys, I'm going to give you 3 keys to better communicate. So the title is The True Meaning of Communication. And so we've already gone over the Latin, what the Latin word is, and that's communis, which means together or common, and then munis, which is service or gift. So you can say, in other words, to make something common or share something with others, right? But I want to go further. I want to go deeper than that. I want to go deeper than the Latin. And one of the things that I really like to study and that I've studied in the past is the Hebrew language, right? And so tell me, guys, put it in the chat. Hello, Corporal Rufus. Hello, Kenneth. Put it in the chat. What do you think of when you think about communication? What's one of the first things that you think of when you hear the word communication? Just off the top of your head, give me some things that you guys are thinking about. Give me some things. One of the first things that I think about, or that a lot of people think about, is talking. But just because you're talking doesn't mean you're communicating. A lot of people think about texting, and a lot of people think about emailing. But just because you're emailing doesn't mean you're actually communicating. So for those who this doesn't speak to you, exit the chat. If this doesn't speak to you, Rufus, if this doesn't speak to you, go ahead and exit the chat. or Kenneth, if it doesn't speak to you, because there are definitely people that are listening that haven't chimed in yet, and we want to create a connection on this channel. We're not here to put people down. We're not here to be negative. So I'm here to make a connection and to grow the channel. And so one of the first things that we went over was the Latin word, right, for communication. But I want to go deeper than that, because the Hebrew word for communication is letakshir. Letakshir, Letakshir. Letakshir rhymes with bear, share, right? And so, which means the Hebrew, I love the Hebrew because it's really a deep and rich language to learn. It's not just superficial or on the surface, definitions and things. So it means connection or bond. Connection or bond, right? That changes everything, right? When we're communicating, we're talking about to develop or create a connection or a bond, according to the parent Hebrew language, right? A connection. You want to make a connection or a bond. Who is this? Who am I talking to, and who is this for? This is for those who are in business. This is for those who have your own channel. This is for those who just want the general knowledge of what it is to actually communicate, right? What communication is. And I like the definition that comes from the Hebrew, which talks about making a connection or a bond, right? And so one of the first keys to better communicate is connection. That's the one thing. So you want to build a genuine connection. So, and we went over how the root, right, for communication, according to the Hebrew parent language, is a tie, to tie or to bond, right? To tie or bond, according to the current day, modern day definition in the Hebrew. So effective communication isn't about just words. It's not about, just texting or talking or sending emails. It's about creating a real connection. So that's why one of the first things that I started out in the chat was, guys, I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know what kind of day you've had. But I do want this moment to matter. And I don't want to just talk at someone. I want to have a connection. So we want to create a connection here. And so that's one of the first things that we talk about and one of the first points and one of the first keys in communication is to have and create a genuine connection, right? So that's one of the things that we want to do. Have and create a genuine connection with the audience or with the person that you're talking to. And when you're making a video or when you're in your business and you're looking to communicate, one of the first points is build a genuine connection. The second key for better communication is clarity, guys. So you could put so far CC. So the first one's a connection and the second one is clarity. So clarity is going to strengthen the bond. And with the Hebrew definition of communication, right, being a connection or a bond. So just like a rope or a cord, right, when it's tangled, it's not very useful when it's tangled up, right? So a connection, when you're trying to make a connection with someone, when we're trying to make a connection and talk with somebody else, whether it's one-on-one or whether it's with a group, your connection weakens when the message is unclear, right? Our message weakens. And so when there's unclarity, so one of the tips is we want to ask ourselves before we speak, what do I want the person to understand or feel? So what do I want you, and what do I want my audience, and what do I want the person on the other side of the video to feel and to understand? So we want to be thinking about that. We want to ask ourselves that question before we speak. And so those are the first two C's. And then the last one is number 3, which is interaction. every interaction is a thread. And according to the Hebrew culture and to the modern day Hebrew definition of communication, every act of communication is a part of a larger pattern of connection, right? So what do I mean? And what are they talking about? So even the smallest of words and the smallest of gestures, you want to use kind words, you want to use thoughtful words when we're talking to folks, right? Because every act of communication plays a larger part in communicating later with your audience, right? So you want to be consistent and kind. You want to be consistent and kind with your communication, right? And so that means, like, even in the routine days and even in your routine moments. So as we are, we have people talking in the chat and dropping things in the chat. If this is connecting with you, if this is hitting home with you, leave a comment, let me know, and leave a comment in the chat. That way I know you're following and that this is connecting or this is making sense with you. So in routine moments, I want to be consistent and kind. In routine moments, you want to be consistent and kind. This is going to help you stack and build in your communication, whatever that is, whether you're trying to do a video or you want to make videos for your channel, or you want to communicate at your business, and just in general with other people, right? So those are the 3 keys, guys. I'm going to go over them again real quick. So 3 keys that I gave you guys for better communication is build a genuine connection. That's what we want to start off with. We want to build a genuine connection, right? And number 2 is clarity. You want to be clear, because clarity strengthens the bond. That's going to strengthen the bond when you're talking, you're speaking with someone. Just like a rope or a cord isn't useful, right, when it's tangled and all tangled up, so our communication isn't useful, and our connection weakens when our message isn't clear, right? So what do I mean by that? The tip there is we want to understand, what do we want our audience, what do I want the viewer to feel and to understand before I talk, right? And so and the third one is interaction. So every interaction is a thread. Is to remember that throughout our day and throughout your interaction with, if you have a business, with your clients, and interactions with colleagues and friends and family, every interaction is a piece of the thread to the greater pattern of your communication later on, right? In the day or later on in life. So this is going to be a short live for you guys. And so these are all threads, right? These 3 things that I talked about are all threads that tie us together. So they're going to help you shift your communication from being transactional, have that transactional feeling, to being relational, right? Which is, I found here, which is the heart of the Hebrew concept and the mother language, or that father language, the Hebrew language. So if this helped you guys, if this resonated with you, don't just like it, but share it, right, guys? Share it with someone who you think is going to benefit from hearing it, okay? Because that's going to create a connection, right, that goes beyond this screen right here. It's going to create a connection when you share it. It's going to create a connection for somebody else. And so, real quick, why this works, why these 3 points work. So it acknowledges the audience's reality, right? So at the beginning of the video, what did I do? I showed empathy for those on the other side of the screen, right? Why it works. It invites interaction. I invite interaction. I invite you guys to interact and share if something is speaking to you, if something's resonating with you. So I'm telling you that you matter, and it's not me just talking, but for those who want to share something in the comments, right? And then thirdly, it sets a relational tone, so that I'm not just performing at you or talking at you, but I'm here with you. And so those were the why it works, and those were the 3 points, guys, to have a better system, if you will, to better communicate. So if this spoke with you once again, guys, go ahead and share it. And until next time, guys, be well, great grace, and plenty of peace.